So I heard this was the rowdy group. Is that right? Yeah, that's what they told me. That's what they told me. Good morning to you all. How you doing? All right, so I'm an interactive speaker, so I'd like for you to participate with me. Is that okay? All right, so I'm going to ask you, are you ready? And I want you to respond by telling me that you are ready. Okay, so on the count of 3, I'm going to ask, are you ready? Ready. All right, sounds good. I'm ready too. So there's an old man, a little boy, and a donkey, and they're on their way to the market. Now, the old man is riding the donkey. The little boy is walking next to him, and they're on their way. And they run into a group of people. And the group of people say, "Oh man, why are you riding the donkey and that poor little boy is walking? You should have the little boy on the donkey." So he thinks about it for a second. He goes, "You know what? They're probably right." So the old man gets off the donkey. The little boy gets on. And then they, on their way, little boy's riding the donkey. Old man is walking next to him. And wouldn't you know it, a little bit further down the road, they run into another group of people. And this group says, "Little boy, what are you doing? Why are you on the donkey and that old man is walking? What are you thinking?" The little boy thinks about it for a second. He says, "You know what? They're probably right." So this time they get together. Old man, little boy talk for a minute. They say, "Here's what we're going to do. We're going to both get on the donkey to solve this, right?" So now they both get on the donkey. Little boy's in the front, old man's in the back, and they're riding on their way. And they run into another group of people. Now this group of people say, "Oh man, little boy, what are you thinking? You're putting way too much weight on that donkey. You guys shouldn't put that much weight on the donkey." So they think about it for a minute. And they say, "You know what? They're probably right." So they get together again. This time they say, "Why don't we both get off the donkey? Neither one of us will ride the donkey." So now the little boy's on the left, the old man's on the right, and the donkey's in the middle. And they're on their way to the market. It's a long way to the market, but they're going to get there. And wouldn't you know it, right before they get to the market, they run into another group of people. And this group say, "Oh man, little boy, what is wrong with you two? You have a perfectly healthy donkey and you're not riding it. What are you, crazy or something? You can't please everybody. No matter what you do, there's always going to be someone who disagrees with what you're saying or what you're doing. There's always going to be situations in your life that you got to deal with that are difficult to deal with. There's always going to be those storms. So the question is this: how do we find peace in the midst of those storms? And that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about 3 distinct ways we can find peace when chaos is going on all around us. First is centering yourself in your truth. Centering yourself in your truth, knowing the truth about who you are. Next is going to be using compassionate communication, not only with other people, but with yourself. And lastly, I'm going to talk about being steadfast in your faith, trusting in God, and knowing that no matter what's going on out there, it's all good because it's all God. So first, centering yourself in your truth. So centering yourself in your truth is knowing who you are, knowing that we are a part of all that is, right? We are connected to that source, that God, that Christ lives within us. We say every Sunday, there's only one power and one presence in my life, God, the good omnipotence, right? Yeah. So omnipotence, meaning God everywhere at the same time. How does God do that? Well, that's us. We are the omnipotence of God. We are the face of God to everyone that we see. That's how God shows up, through us. We have that presence of God inside of us, and not just in us, but in everyone else as well. God's in us. God's in everyone else. God is in every situation in our lives. The problem is we forget that, don't we? And when we forget it, that's when those storms come up. That's when the storms start brewing in our lives. I'll give you a quick example here. In my previous career, my job title was resolution specialist. Now, if you can read between the lines, that means that if someone was on the phone with me or someone came into my office, they probably had a opportunity to change something that I could help them out with. I knew you guys would get it too. They got it in the first service too. They got it. Opportunity to change. Words are important. So I remember speaking on the phone with this young lady. She was upset with me, upset with the company, just going off on me. I mean, really going in, right? Talking about me, talking about my company, talking about my coworkers, saying things that I knew weren't true, but I couldn't say anything. So she's talking and talking and talking. And the whole time she's talking, I feel the storm brewing up inside of me. Anybody ever been there? Yeah? Okay, I'm not alone, right? I'm not alone. But I feel it brewing up inside of me, and then I thought of this quote. Changed everything. Your perception of me is a reflection of you. My reaction to you is an awareness of me. My reaction to you is an awareness of me. How you react to any situation in life has nothing to do with that thing. It has nothing to do with what's going on outside. It has everything to do with what's going on inside of you. How you react to something. And we need to know the truth about who we are so we know how we're going to react to something. When we know that truth, that power, that God lives within us, then we don't have to worry about how we're going to react to something. Well, how do we do that? There's a great book that I want to share with you, a little piece of. And this book is called The Eye of the Storm. I know that some of you may have heard of it before, by Gary Simmons. I'm going to read you a short piece of this book, and we'll talk about it for a minute. All conflicts possess an element of misperception. When we stop and consider the mechanics of perception, we can readily appreciate the enormous effort it takes to truly understand another person. Our capacity to accurately read a situation is influenced by how we see things, how we hear what's being said, and how okay we feel about ourselves. Anger, fear, defensiveness, and other emotional states also contribute to how we perceive a situation. The most important part about that statement is this: how we can readily appreciate the enormous effort it takes to truly understand another person. Basically, that's saying that we need to see things from the other person's point of view. Easy, right? Yeah? Yeah. It's kind of tough to do that, isn't it? We say it like it's a cliche, like it happens all the time. Just see things from the other person's point of view. But it's not that simple. If you think it is, I'll ask you this. Who's had a conversation about politics in the last 2 to 3 years? It's not easy. It's not easy to see things from the other person's point of view. It's very, very difficult. The enormous effort, as he said in there, to do it. How do we find it? How do we find it? How do we find it? Go back to that truth and know that that person, God is in them just like God is in us. I say, we look at the scriptures. Colossians 3:15 says this: let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body, you were called to peace. Members of one body, meaning we are all members of the one body of Christ. So even if someone is disagreeing with you, they're not against you. No one is against you. We are all part of the one body of Christ. And it's okay if we have differing opinions on things, but when you look at the world in that way and say, even though I disagree with someone, it's okay because we're all part of the one body of Christ. We're all part of the same thing. That's how you find peace in the midst of your storms. That's number one. Second one is this: using compassionate communication. Now, this is important because, I'll say it again. When I say use compassionate communication, the first thing that comes to mind is, well, with other people. Makes sense. Be compassionate when you're speaking with other people. But what's even more important than that is using compassionate communication with yourself. When I'm teaching, when I'm coaching, when I'm counseling, when I'm speaking, when I'm having conversations, after I speak, I can't tell you how many times people say, I'm not good enough to do this. I'm too old to do this. I'm too young to do this. I can't accomplish that. It's too late for me. I am. We have to be very, very careful on what we say, or the words we use after I am. Because that place, you're speaking to the highest part of yourself. You're speaking to the God within you. So you are speaking something into existence that wasn't there before until you said it. When you say I am. So be very careful about what you use after the words I am. It's so important. You're speaking to the God in you when you do that. So use affirmations. Use affirmations that are positive and uplifting to yourself. I shared this with the first service. Every single day I look into the mirror and I say, I am a super creator and a magnet for attracting the things I want in my life. I say it every day, and I mean it when I say it. Use those affirmations. Put them on your mirror. Do it in your car. Whatever you have to do, be kind to yourself. There's a great quote that I'll share with you here. Be kind to yourself. It's hard to be happy when someone's mean to you all the time. And I'm talking about ourselves, not someone else. What are you saying in your self-talk every single day, every single moment of now? Always think about that. Be compassionate with yourself. There is a exercise I'm going to share with you about how we get into the consciousness of understanding why we do what we do, how we communicate with ourselves. It's called the have to and choose to exercise. So it goes like this. You take a piece of paper out and you want to write down things that you say you have to do, and you don't like to do them, but you have to do them. So you write those things down. After you got that list, then you put in front of that, I choose to do these things. I choose to do whatever that list is. Now, why do you do that? Because you don't have to do anything. That's the truth. We don't have to do anything. Now, does that mean there's consequences if we don't do some of those things, right? There's always consequences. But the truth is, you don't have to do anything. You choose to do everything you do in your life. So that's just the truth. Now, after you've got those things written down, you say, I choose to do these things, and you have them, and you say, because I want what? And you got to come up with that answer. I'm going to give you an example of how this works. I used to do music videos for our music team at Unity of Tampa. It's my spiritual community up there. I'm on the music team, like you guys are. And every Sunday, I'd shoot a video of the music team. It was awesome, right? Everybody's going to see them. We're going to post them up to the website, right? And everybody's going to love it. Oh, it was awesome. So I would leave church at 12:30, go home, spend 4 or 5 hours working on videos, editing, and, doing all that video stuff. Anybody work with videos? Anybody? Okay, it takes a lot of time, right? A lot of time. So I'd be home, and I couldn't do anything else because I had to get these videos done. But there's only one problem. None of the videos ever made it to the website. Not one. Not one video. So then I said, okay, let's put this in this little scenario here. I don't have to do these videos. I choose to do these videos because I want what? Nothing. Nothing was happening. So I decided to make a decision. How about I just stop making the videos? Remove this from my life. Not one person noticed. Not one person even asked me, hey, you didn't send a video this week. What happened? Nobody. No one even noticed. Sometimes we're building our own storms in our lives. That was me, just building my own storm that didn't have to be there anyway. You ever heard that quote? People make their own storms and complain when it's raining. Think about it. Are you building your own storms in your life when you can just remove that from your life? Think about the way you're communicating with yourself. Think about why you do the things you do, and sometimes you can find peace in the midst of your storms by removing something away. My last point I'm going to make today is being steadfast in your faith. Trusting in God and being steadfast in your faith. So I'm going to work from Matthew 13, 1 through 8. The parable of the sower. Anyone know the parable of the sower? All right. So it's important to know that in this story, it talks about the farmer. Now, we are that farmer. You know that, right? When Jesus talks in these parables, he's representing something that we are. So we're the farmer in the story, and it goes on to say that the farmer has excellent seed. So what's our excellent seed? Well, that's our thoughts. That's our consciousness. That's our awareness. That's our actions. Those are our excellent seed. And the story goes on to say, well, the farmer went out to lay some seed. Then he laid some on the ground, and before he even walked away, the birds ate it all. It's gone. So what does that look like in our lives? Well, maybe you wake up in the morning, you go outside in the garage, you go crank up your car, and the battery's dead. You haven't even started your day yet. Something's already gone wrong. What happened? Let me tell you what happened. It was the birds. That's what happened. It was the birds. Write this down. The birds are going to get some of your excellent seed. It doesn't matter how long or how many times you pray, the birds are still going to get some of your excellent seed. Now, some of you may be tempted to ask, but why me? I mean, I just put a battery in that car. Why me? But don't ask that question. See, that is a powerless question. What you should do is do like the farmer did and keep on sowing. Now, I need you all to help me out, okay? So on the count of 3, I'm going to ask you to say, keep on sowing. Are you ready? Well, I think you can do better than that. Are you ready? That's it. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Keep on sowing. And that's exactly what the farmer did. So the farmer laid some more seed, and this time it landed on rocky ground. Now, they began to grow. They even lasted till the next morning. But as soon as the sun came up, it scorched them all, and they died. So what does that look like in our lives? Maybe you've been in a relationship going on for 6 months. Everything seems to be going great. And then they contacted you and said, I need space. What happened? I know exactly what happened. It was the heat. That's exactly what happened. I want you to write this down. The heat is going to get some of your excellent seed. It doesn't matter how many times you say your affirmations. You can go to church 3 times on Sunday. It's still going to get some of your excellent seed. Now, some of you may be tempted to ask, but why me? I mean, I was so good in that relationship. I gave it my all. But don't ask that question. See, that is a powerless question. What you should do is do like the farmer did and keep on sowing, which is exactly what the farmer did. So he laid some more seed. This time, it landed on thorny ground. Now, they started to grow. They even lasted a couple of days. But then the thorns rose up and choked them to death. And they all died. So what does that look like in our lives? Maybe you've been at a company for 20 years. 20 years. And they call you in the office one day and they say, we're downsizing. Your position has been eliminated. We're letting you go. What happened? I can tell you exactly what happened. Oops, I lost my mic. I can tell you exactly what happened. If I can get my mic. It was the thorns. It was the thorns. You got it? It's good? Okay. I want you to write this down. The thorns are going to get some of your excellent seed. No matter how many times you pray, no matter how good of a person you are, they're still going to get some of your excellent seed. Now, some of you might be tempted to ask, but why me? I have my 401k in there, Roth IRAs, everything. Why me? But don't ask that question. You see, that is a powerless question. What you should do is do like the farmer did and keep on sowing. And that's exactly what the farmer did. So the farmer laid some more seed. And this time, it landed on fertile ground. Can I get an amen for that? Amen. All right, I like that. You see, if you have faith and you keep sowing your excellent seed, there is no doubt that sooner or later, it's going to land on fertile ground. And what does that look like? You're in alignment with Source. You feel the presence of God within you. And you show that light to every single person that you meet. You are a light of God to everyone. That's what it feels like. Now, the story goes on to say that some of them produced 30 times as much. Some produce 60 times as much. Some produce 100 times as much as what was sown. And some of you might want to ask, well, why did that one only do 30? And this one, don't ask that question. Don't do it. Don't ask that question. Just be grateful that it's all a gift from God. And do like the farmer did and keep on sowing. Yes, yes. Thank you. You guys are getting good at this now. If you want to find that peace in the midst of your storm, if you want to be at peace no matter what chaos is going on around you, do some of the things that we've talked about today. Center yourself in your truth. Know the truth about who you are and know that no one is against you. We're all part of that one body of Christ. Use compassionate communication with yourself and with others. Be kind to yourself. And finally, be steadfast in your faith. Because the Bible says if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, and you say to that mountain, move, that mountain shall move, and nothing will be impossible to you. My name is T.Y. Thank you for allowing me to share this with you today. Remember, the time is always now. Allow the universe to work in your favor, and be blessed.